Avery and Logan are best friends, inseparable since childhood, my oh my. And then back in 2014, a glorious year that we wish we could go back to. Avery is leaving for work in London. Logan says don't leave me and says some things that fracture their fucking friendship. And for 10 years they do not speak a word to each other. But then me, oh my, they end up with two people that are siblings. And they realize if they want to have a good Christmas, they cannot expose our little secret. Our little secret, or they'll look at us like we're fucking behind them. Our little secret is a cliched fucking mess. Our Little Secret is a Netflix original starring Lindsay Lohan, and I am so happy that Lindsay Lohan has overcome her substance abuse issues. She was going through it, and she has come roaring back in the last number of years. I am so fucking thrilled. Such a bright, aspiring actress, Mean Girls, and some other great stuff, and she has dug herself out of that pit, and I want to say right off the bat, I am so fucking thrilled for Lindsay Lohan. She looks healthy, she seems happy, and that's fucking tremendous. So, Our Little Secret is fucking atrocious. It is one of the worst Christmas goddamn movies that I have seen in quite a while. And I just watched Dear Santa, and you can check out my review of that, and I watched Red 1, and look, I fully recognize this movie is not exactly for me. I'm not the target audience, but I can take sappy shit, but I at least have to see something that tries. So this was directed by Stephen Herrick, who's done films ranging from The Chaperone. Remember when Triple H thought he was going to be a movie star, but his best role was in Blade Trinity when he had a vampiric Pomeranian. Also, he did Rockstar, and he did Mr. Holland's Opus. Stephen, that is, not Triple H, that would have been weird. Mr. Holland's Opus, by the way, pretty underappreciated. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and he did the first Critters. No, really. It's like when my best friend, one of my best friends down south told me that, that the director of A Christmas Story also did Black Christmas. Yeah, fucking mind-blowing. So this was written by Haley Dominikas. I'm hoping I pronounced that right. Feature credit. You gotta start somewhere. So yeah, Lindsay Lohan plays Avery, and Ian Harding plays Logan. How's the run going? We see in the beginning a storybook thing. They're together as friends. That kind of, gets a little bit of closeness. But then after a certain incident happens with the family that necessitates Avery wanting to go away, I'll talk about that in the spoilers. Even though it's in the beginning, it's kind of a bit of a spoiler. Avery is going to go to London. And Logan is all drunk. And at a Christmas party / going away party, he confesses his love for Lindsay. To be fair, Lindsay Lohan is a beautiful woman. How could you not, want to profess your love for her? But that doesn't work out all that well, and then they end up separated, and then it turns out, yeah, they're together with new people. There's Cameron, and then there's also, I just got to be perfectly honest, there's just so many cliched characters in this. You do have Katie Baker, who plays a very, very young, girlfriend of Logan. And Logan has aspirations of being a designer and making good stuff and making good money doing project designs and stuff like that. Well, Avery, I'm not sure what the fuck Avery does. She wants to buy her parents' house since they're about to retire and downsize and everything, and that's great. You want to hold on to those memories, and from there, once they realize, holy shit, we are together with two people, they're siblings, and now we have to get through all this stuff, and yeah, then hilarity ensues, except not really, except the fact this is atrocious. Look, I'm sure everybody had a good time making this, and I'm sure that it was done with good intentions, but good God, what an almost offensively generic, basic bitch of a concept this was. This was fucking terrible. And I gotta say, going from 2014, having the montage of stuff that happened in the decade between 24, or in the 10 years interim between 2014 and 2024 was silly. This thing is like 92 minutes bell to bell and is so goddamn padded out with every bit of Hallmark light bullshit that you could ask for. This is almost stupefyingly awful. So the writing is shit. The humor is dog shit. The characters are half-baked. Tim Meadows is in this. I like Tim Meadows. You have Kristen Chenoweth, however the hell you say it, and she's here. I do want to shout Ash Santos, who plays a friend of basically Avery's significant other, Cameron, or Cam. He came in. It's the Cayman Islands. You get these pieces that might work, except for the fact that it's so generic and so basic and just so boring and bland, and just bland oatmeal, like a pile of bland oatmeal that you're forced to basically try to eat up, and after 2 bites you just go to sleep hoping that the movie will be over. Yeah, it's one of those Netflix originals. It's terrible. It didn't put me in the Christmas spirit. I almost didn't want to wear the hat, but people liked the hat, so I wore the goddamn hat. So I hope you liked that I wore the hat. I'm getting into spoilers. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Once again, I'm happy that Lindsay Lohan overcame her substance abuse issues. So, yeah, this is a story of a tiny little secret, a couple decades in the making. This movie also feels like it was plucked from about 1996 or maybe the early 2000s when it would have been put in theaters. Basically, in 2014, Logan professes his love. That doesn't work. And it turns out that Lindsay Lohan's character, Avery, her mom died. And she's upset about that. And Logan, being drunk, shouldn't have brought up the mom. He brought up the mom. That causes a rift. And from there, basically, Logan realizes he's screwed up. And, I mean, Avery, to be fair, was grieving. And up until that point, probably was maybe being a little bit, maybe like, a rift or a miscommunication or whatever. And you can understand that and talking things through. Once that was said about the mom, you can understand why everybody was upset. Logan's family is struggling financially. And he's trying to do good, work construction, and work these design jobs. Avery's family is selling their house, but she wants to keep it because of her memories with her mom and memories with her dad too. I mean, her dad is remarried. I mean, it's not like he did as a dickish thing. At least that wasn't implied. Sophie also is a best friend of Cameron that they haven't seen each other much in about 10 years. Gee, almost mirroring this, except Avery and Logan don't actually get together. At least not until the end of the movie. But Cameron and Sophie do, because Cameron decides to go out drinking one night and then ends up with Sophie. Hey, Ash Santos, beautiful, but come on. Stay with the person that you're meant to stay with. A lot of age difference jokes, like about, Logan's girlfriend being so young that, do the report cards need to be brought home for the parents to see? Erica is very much a bitchy, rich woman. Oh, yes, and it also turns out that her husband is having an affair with the wife of Tim Meadows' character, because why the fuck not? Look, none of these characters really matter, and that's just why I'm referring to them as the actors' names, because they're so goddamn ridiculous. Tim Meadows' name's Stan. Your best friend, this is Stan. And there's this one scene where they try for, an attempt at, goofy comedy where Avery eats a bunch of stuff after going out doing some tree, chopping and everything with Logan, because they have to pretend that they don't know each other, but they actually do know each other pretty goddamn well because they used to date. And because he did try proposing to her, but it didn't work because of, this whole thing and, yeah, all that. But then she eats a bunch of THC gummies, weed gummies as it were, and ends up hallucinating in church, but ends up somehow coming up with a good sermon story about the birth of Christ. And that works, I guess. Celebrate Good Times Come On is sung. There's also a thing where she eats too many cookies, tries to blame it on the dog, and then takes the dog to the vet along with Erica, but then basically has to pay a bill to pay off for the silence of this vet. And then there's this little hellion 18-year-old kid that's, part of the family that wants to drink a whole lot. And now that he found out and overheard all this stuff about how they used to date and all this, he's going to expose the secrets unless they do this stuff for him. But that doesn't really go anywhere. Meanwhile, Logan is trying to do good and everything. And you could tell Avery means well, but you could tell Logan actually now it's kind of flipped. And Logan's doing the better stuff. Logan realizes that his girlfriend is really not for him. too young and just, things are like just not quite working. And basically the idea is Logan tells her, well, you should buy your house. And it's almost a kiss how it ended up like this. The stuff with it, thankfully the dog's fine, by the way. I actually felt bad for the dog, because the dog is just like deeply confused, not understanding what's going on here. Yeah. Cameron ends up cheating on Avery with Sophie. And then the fake snow shots and Netflix originals, it's almost, that and Hallmark's just offensive. And yeah, so there's a work proposal stuff, about designs and everything. Logan's really good at it. And Avery decides she's going to try to take this to Stan, Tim Meadows' character, who's really bound, determined to design some new stuff. We find out a little bit later. Oh, yes, and Logan's dad and Sophie's mom are together, having an affair because Logan's dad's in a loveless marriage. Erica doesn't care. The grandmother, before that, Logan's grandmother exposes the fact that him and Avery used to be together. And then basically, after she decides to leave because she's like, this isn't going to work out. And the dad shows back up with, with basically just, oh yeah, vacation was great. And yeah, as for the house, we found an insane offer that we couldn't refuse. And hands her the key. Well, I mean, it's yours. You're going to have to pay me because I can't, it's like I need money, but there you are. She brought the proposal to Erica and basically says, I'm going to come back every day and bug you if you don't do this. So she does. Logan gets a brand new, high-paying job. And they get together. And then a year later, things are good. And, oh yes, Tim Meadows and Erica are together. Because, why not? Because let's just sleep around with everybody. I mean, like I'm one to talk about the sanctity of marriage. They weren't my marriages. So anyway, yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Physical comedy doesn't work. The social awkwardness doesn't work. Socially awkward commentary or comedy only works if you actually have proper writing and proper pacing. And this movie doesn't have that. Gets an F. It's terrible. So yeah, provided that anybody got through that terrible rendition of Merry, Merry Christmas, let's just say goodbye to our little secret. That being said, yeah, F. So agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd handles in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.